which is why I always have my trusty notes app in front of me. Obsidian is always in my face.
Hello, everyone. Obsidian is like Notion on steroids.
Yes, it's Notion and many other things on steroids. Yes, it is. It is
Really?
whatever you want it to be. Yes,
That's weird.
it's
That's
my
weird,
favorite.
man.
It's my favorite thing ever. And I have my
Um,
little process with it, and I'm good with it. And so I just need to double check.
it
And this
is the
time I have to
private
write. Huh?
and flexible writing app that adapts to the way you think, it says.
It does. So it can do whatever you want it to do, Jess, but you have to invest the time to build the systems in it. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, you have to do research and watch videos. And, it's not just like, oh,
Pop in
there's,
and go.
yeah, but it can do
Yeah.
so many things. And I just really like it. And I'm constantly learning
I have
about.
been using something from Amanda. Amanda Krill made a software called She Owns. It's at
Yeah,
sheowns.org.
we talked
Yeah, yeah.
about it, but let's talk about
Oh
it
my
again because
God.
some people might not have heard that, but we did talk about it in an episode. So she owns.
It has so many things within it. It's shocking. It has email, it has automations, it has scheduling and booking appointments with you. It has um invoicing, payments, subscriptions. It has membership site if you want to make that. It has regular websites if you want to make that. It's a whole CRM system. I cannot stress to you how delightful it is to go to one place for all of those things and not have to be like Google Contacts, Active Campaign, and then
And it has
Calendly.
does it have an email list thing?
Yeah, the whole email. The whole email. My entire email list is now in there. Our
Wow.
email list is now in there.
So
Tagged and
I'm
everything.
I'm looking for a solution for myself, but here's the
Mhm.
catch. But by the way, price is not necessarily the issue, really. It's the
Mhm.
fact
Mhm.
that I may or may not use it maybe 1 or 2 times a year. So,
Why?
I
What's it
need to have
for?
because it's for if and when I decide to create an email address, like an email newsletter. Like I need to create one for me, just for me. But I don't know if I'm
But
gonna be sending emails,
yeah,
maybe I would say 4 times a year tops. It's
it's
probably not
$100 a
gonna
month.
this is what I'm saying. It's not worth that's what I'm do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's not that
you
the
should.
cost is cost prohibitive. It's not
Yeah,
that's
not
not the issue
before.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the issue. It's like, why do I need to pay for something that I'm maybe going to use
You
a
don't.
handful of times,
You
right?
don't. But everyone else who's listening, you do. So you should check it
Okay.
out. Sheowns.org. Um, yeah. So what else is going on? I'm ready to give myself a buzz haircut again because now that my gray is growing out, I hate the half C bullshit that's happening. Like,
So, okay, let's talk about this right now because I've been going,
it's driving you crazy or what?
no, here's the thing. I don't because I started to think back or look back at our conversations
Mhm, mhm.
and some things started to to feel like it's a segment. And
The hair
that is
segment?
the hair. Oh, look at this. I even went backwards.
Oh, hey.
Um yeah, because here's the thing. Every time we get to record, you
Yeah,
talk about your hair, but I'm
that's
curious
really
if it's
vain of
because
me.
no, but I'm curious if it has to do with the fact that you are looking at yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Because because if you're not looking at yourself, we wouldn't talk about your hair. It's
No,
just
because
because
no
it's
one else
in your
could see it.
face.
It's because it's in my face, which means
Yeah.
it's almost as if I have to apologize to the
Ah.
people who are watching for the way that it looks. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't wanna have a segment about my hair. I just wanna know what you think about cutting it short, but we don't have to talk about it now.
No, but I guess yeah, but yeah. So that because the other day I was looking at mirrors in my house and I
Mhm,
thought, okay, I have one mirror in my house. Well, two.
mhm,
One in the kitchen. I mean, one in the bathroom and then one in the bedroom.
okay,
And usually I don't look at myself at all.
okay.
And the only time that I become concerned about things, about the way I look, is when I look at myself on camera.
Yes, of
And
course.
then that sends me into a tailspin. But if I never looked at myself in a camera, because it's most of the time, my life is fine and I'm constantly fine about myself. Like I don't ever go like, "Oh, I'm getting old," or I have lines in my face. Like I never have those
I don't care
thoughts.
about that. It's mostly hair related. I'm always obsessed with my hair. It's why I stopped doing a video podcast. I was constantly looking at it and obsessing over how messy it looks because I've always just wanted like a sleek, straight blonde bob. And like instead, I've been given tree branches that don't grow, that are gnarled and grow all on their own. And I guess I should celebrate its independence, but instead, I feel like it makes me look I'm just self-conscious about it. I feel like it makes me look disheveled. I mean,
Mm.
it does, but I think but I used to describe my look as disheveled chic because, like, I'm just always disheveled. And no, you're right. When I'm not staring at myself on camera, I really could give to a cat's knuckle, as you say, of not you,
Yeah.
but as they
But
say, I don't care.
yeah, so I think so that's a point. That's all I'm saying, that
Yeah. So, all right, fine.
it's sort of like
I'll shut up about it.
my sense, but I'm not asking you to shut up about it. I'm
I
just
know,
calling
but
it
I'm
out
gonna.
because I kind of pay attention to those things as well from when I see myself on camera, but my life, the rest of my life, I don't really have negative thoughts about my appearance and or who I am in the world and how I
Mhm.
present to the world and how I engage with the world. Like I don't meet people and go, they're
Oh
looking at
no, what
my
do I
face.
look like?
They think that I'm 56. They think
I
like
don't
I don't know.
either.
So I don't ever have those thoughts. I'm fine. I'm right.
I
So
don't ever meet someone and think, "Oh my god, I'm 48, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that." I do end up running into parts of conversation where I'm like, I'm showing my age because I'm talking about Sesame Street, or whatever we watched
yeah,
as
yeah.
kids, um but no, for the most part, I don't meet people for the first time and think that I look old, and I don't look in the mirror and think my face looks old. It might look a
Right.
little unpainted,
Right.
but not old, but no, the hair gets to me, and it's not even the gray. I just don't like that it's I don't like what's the word? Transitional hair phases, and you
Mm.
never, ever, ever have a hair transitional phase, and I feel like I am always, always in a transitional hair phase.
The reason did you say me that I'm the one that
Yeah,
doesn't
you
have a
never
okay.
have one. I don't know
All
that
right.
you've
So
ever
here's
had one.
why though. Here's why because I'm too lazy to go get it cut. I was just talking to my kids about it because when I turned 30 wait, how old was I? When I turned 30, when I turned
Mhm,
30, I cut my hair really short and I went really short
mhm,
and I loved it. But
but
that means that I have
but
to go get my hair cut every,
yes,
4
yes, it
weeks, every
does.
3 to 4 weeks, and
Yes, it does.
that's not my life, I cannot do that, and like, I love my hair long, I love my hair short. I do not like my hair to to this height, to my shoulders. I cut it that short when May was born. I was like, I got to get my hair cut. I cannot take care of it. It's too long. It's too like straggly. I really need to get, and I got it cut very short. In fact, we went to podcast in 2019-ish. Wait, was it 19? No, it wasn't then. When May was born, really, on in 2011. I did get it cut. And it's the worst I've ever felt because I didn't get it cut short. And I just trimmed it to my shoulders, thinking shoulder length is what I wanted. And I hated it.
Really?
Hated shoulder length. Ugh. Bleh.
You probably felt like
For
it
me.
aged you.
You know
That's
what
a very
it did?
Karen. That's a very Karen
Yes.
length of a haircut.
I think that's what it was when I looked at myself. It like naturally, like especially when he did it and I came out, I'm like, I look like a housewife. And I've never been, I mean, I am essentially a housewife. That's kind of what I do most day of, but I don't look like one.
No, you don't.
So like,
no, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should record. We've been rehearsed. We are
recording already.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we are recording, but this is pre-show stuff.
Yes. So Stacy
Thank you,
says, I
Stacy.
hide self-view when I'm on video. It's not normal to look at yourself when you're conversing. We don't do that when we're off camera. I mean, that's a good idea, but in StreamYard, I don't know that I can hide if I hid myself.
Oh.
Then I disappear.
Yeah, we could do it, but then nobody else could see it. Hi, Patrick Keller.
Hi, Patrick Keller.
I love Patrick Keller. Okay.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah, and plus the thing is we're doing a show right now, so it's different, but it's one of the reasons why I always turn my camera off when I'm on Zoom meetings, unless it's absolutely 100% necessary, because I have to listen and I have to be typing. Like I have to constantly be typing what everybody is saying so that I could stay anchored in the conversation. If I don't do that, I'm screwed.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
I prefer not to be on camera. Although when it comes to like talking to you or Melissa, I do like being on camera because I just like I like feeling like we're having like a lunch together. But like for everyone else, I definitely focus better when I can't look them in the face. Because I'll get distracted by what their house looks like. I get distracted about whether or not they're writing things down, if they're reading off of a, list of questions that they've prepared for me, and I'll feel different ways about that. Yeah, I don't think Stacy's right. I don't think it's normal to even not just to look at yourself, but to watch the other person converse with you is weird as well. Like, what are they doing on the other side? Like you have two
on
screens.
camera, yeah. I mean, if it's real life, of course you're looking at them. So
No, I know, but like, yeah, when we're at lunch, we're talking, but like right now, you are looking. You have two different screens, so sometimes you look at me, sometimes you don't look at me. Like right now, you're looking at the screen, even though I'm up here,
up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my camera is higher up, so yeah, I have to look up in order to, and I look at a little tiny robot versus
all of it is awkward.
So it's,
and I mean, I'm starting to like notice other people that they have boundaries around the way that they meet with one another, and I can instill my own. Like if I'm coaching someone, it's audio only. We can do Zoom, but it's audio only. And I have one person that tells me, she has as part of like a part of her offering that she has, she gives you access to her on Vox, but each message can only be under, 3-4 minutes. So like I thought that was really interesting. She's like, you can do 3 or 4 minute, 3 of those in a row, but don't leave me 15-minute. And it's true because like you can't get through a 15-minute message because you have to stop and then you lose your place and then it's like shit, I got to start over. So
yeah, because that way it'll that's process for sure. I really like
it's like palatable information input.
consumable.
just made
Yeah,
that
for
up.
sure.
Yeah.
Little bits makes it feel like you're getting through stuff, and and then
Yeah.
you'll also remember, oh, I have to go back and finish listening to these things or anyway. We should record,
Right.
dude. We should
Okay, yeah.
record.
Okay, ready, set, go. Okay.
Oh, okay. Ready, set, go.
Hey everyone. Welcome to She Podcast episode 410. God, that's a lot of shows. I'm your
That's
host,
a lot
Jessica
of shows.
Pepperman. With me, as always, the ever long-haired Elsie Escobar. And I don't know if the beginning of this conversation will be during this show, but we were talking about hair and hair length and looking at ourselves on camera and how weird it is. Yeah. So
All those
today
lovely
we have something really interesting to talk to you about. Most of it is going to be about podcast marketing. I have the link that you sent me, but I did not pull it up yet because I was rushing.
Yeah, but it's
Because
okay. You
that's
can
what
do
I do.
that. And then also what I'm gonna share before we get into that though, I just kind of want to call this out, which is it was pretty shocking to me. And you can also pull it up too, Jess, because I put the link in the show notes
Yep,
there.
I got it.
This link is not going to be in the show notes, people. The link that I shared with Jess right now, which is a Zoom training
Oh,
that I did, is not going to be in the show notes because it is for my mentorship people, and I'm going to share it with Jess and our membership people later on here.
ooh,
But
secret
what I wanted to share
info.
that with, it's a tutorial that I did for my e-league, for the the e-league, which is my mentorship experience and my people. And I did it on Zoom. We just came in together. There was really it was 6 of us that did the program this time. 5 of them showed up. And so it was super intimate, and I just happened to be there, and I banged out 90 minutes going super in depth on all things video, tech, things to buy, things to up level, minimal viable. Anyway, whatever. It's not really about the
Wow,
training.
I'm
It's not
excited.
really about the training, but it's about what Zoom did. Did you click through to the link there, Jess, to see what it did now?
Where did you send it to me?
I didn't send it to you. It's in the show notes. There's in the show notes that says don't share link in the show notes.
Oh, I was just opening that and then I got
So
distracted. Okay, sorry.
when you look at that, you'll see everything that Zoom did. So now Zoom has all of this AI additions to
Oh, got
it.
it. Got it. Mhm.
And you can turn it on, I guess. If you want to do it, you can. If you're paying for Zoom, I'm not sure if it's available for people who don't pay for Zoom. I have the regular, whatever the next level account is. Like I pay for Zoom, but I'm not buying, I can't remember how much a month it is. Although I did buy a year, and I think it was $140 for Zoom for the year. And so now with this AI capability, it does all of these things. It has
So you don't need the other note takers.
Yeah, but I was mostly surprised because, this kind of stuff for a meeting would serve one purpose, which are the note takers, right? But
Mhm.
what I was really astounded by is anybody who, for podcasting specific, if you happen to pay for Zoom and you record, you connect with your guests using Zoom. Even if you, let's say, or your co-host using Zoom, if you connect, like if you and I decided we wanted to use Zoom instead of StreamYard to record our show and see each other, it's amazing because it literally creates time codes, smart chapter marks, a transcription, everything that you would need to kind of do your show notes, and you can ask it questions.
It's amazing. So no more need for Read or Otter. It just does.
It just does all the things in there for you. It's different, right?
Is
So
it
it's
only
different.
if it's your Zoom?
You can share this with anybody else. So if you and I were,
I'm saying if you and I were on your Zoom, could I
yeah,
do this?
yes, because you would ask permission. Like at any time that I add, like if you decided to if we had an ongoing thing and you had your own Zoom account and you were using a whatever email address, I would just add you to that, and then you would get all this stuff on your own. You would get it. And if you wanted to, the only thing that I had seen before was the summary that Zoom gives you, which isn't the best, but sometimes for meetings, it's great because it actually does give you action items and it gives you like high level summaries of the things that we discussed. But with this, the way that the reason that I'm talking about it is not so much about meetings and action items for work. I'm thinking about it as a process for anybody who is a beginner podcaster and they decided, you know what, I'm going to stick to Zoom. I know Zoom. I'm going to do my interview show and or my co-hosted show on Zoom, and I'll just do that and you'll have it. So it's
awesome.
I like how
I just took an amazing
you're trolling
screenshot.
me. You're
true.
trolling me.
As you're explaining this, I scrubbed it a little and found a screenshot of you that's giving Fontaine vibes from Les Mis. Do you know who Fontaine is?
Yes. Also,
Okay,
just people listen. My own co-host is trolling me as we are recording. Personally, like not even publicly, personally, like she's texting my face.
I know.
And my yes. Anyway,
I'm sorry, but it's funny. That is you
funny.
as Fontaine in Les Miserables.
It's me, except that there's too much makeup on my face.
Speaking of disheveled, you have a lot of makeup on your. What's with all the makeup? First of all,
because I had just done
for you.
I had a live event that I did prior to this, so I went from doing a live to doing a training. So
it looks like you stepped off the stage, like a theater stage.
Yeah, I had a lot of makeup. I put
theater
for
makeup.
Live. Yeah, I had a lot of makeup on for that thing.
But anyway, I don't mean to interrupt the glory that is Zoom. And did you say that it's an add-on or
no? I said nothing. It literally is in there. I think you just have to turn it on and accept it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think that it's at the bottom. If you're on Zoom at the bottom, it says like AI summary, AI something or other. And so if you turn it on, I'm assuming, because I never told it to do all the things it did in the recording. So I was like, how amazing is it to do a training and to be able to send people a link? That is the thing was 90 minutes long. For them to literally just scroll through and find the part where I was talking about lighting or the part where I was talking about, cords and connectors and cables. And I love that.
Yeah.
It's so great. So yeah. And I don't know what these highlight things are. Like you can highlight stuff. I don't know if you can like export and or clip. Like now you can clip portions of it.
And I mean, it kind of looks like you highlight the thing and then it stays there highlighted and you can I don't know about clip, but you can.
No, you can clip it. I'm telling you. I am telling you, you can clip it. On my end of it, you can clip, but I haven't clipped. I don't know what I don't know what that feature does. So I don't know if it like you clip it and you can export a piece of the video. I don't know. Or if it's, but there's a section in YouTube, in Zoom that has a little thing that says clips. And so I was like, wow. So they've really upped their game, people. Give it a go. Turn on the robot for a couple of your recordings if you want to do it. See what happens. And maybe it'll be really good for if you're working with an editor, even if you are recording locally on your side, to be able to send time codes to them easier and say like start at 3512 or cut whatever part out, or I don't know. So it's very smart. And so
That's
Patrick,
amazing.
think about that. You said that you still buy Zoom because you feel like you need it for backup, which you never need. So you now have something that's going to help you get things done faster, I guess. Summary, quotes, things that were said in the podcast that you want to really highlight. All of those things. It's pretty amazing.
Wow, you can create clips in Zoom too, like in the Zoom account, which I happen to.
Dude, I just said that. Did you know?
I
Did
thought you
you
were
know?
talking about within the meeting you can clip, like, your meeting notes.
No, no. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
you said
In Zoom,
highlight it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
anyway. No, I just said that. It's just funny because I just said that, and then you went like, "Oh, look, great clips." That's what I was talking
No,
about.
Elsie, I saw it in 2 places. In the recording you gave me, you said you highlighted a piece and you're not sure if you can clip it. And then I said, I meant it's on the sidebar in the Zoom account clips, which is separate from the
That's
meeting.
what I told you. I said, I've seen the clips. I haven't tested it yet. I don't know if they show up in that clip area yet. I haven't created a clip because it tells you create clip for me
I
on
didn't
that
hear you
screen.
tell me about the area. I thought I was being innovative by telling you about it. I mean, you get all mad, like, I know sometimes I say things you just said, but usually it's because I'm digging into the thing you've showed me, and I'm like, I hear you mention it, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, I gotta look at that," and then I look at it, and then I misunderstand what you say. I'm sorry.
So, by the way, that is my life here at home. Like I am the Jessica here at my house because I do that all the time. And my whole family gets so pissed off at me. So it has to be an ADHD thing
It is,
because
but I'm paying attention. I mean, my attention is nowhere else but on you. But I just happened to, like, when I opened your meeting, and then I saw the highlight, and then, I don't know, like, I wanted to click and see how I turn it on so that I could know how to turn it on as you were telling me, and yeah, like, pieces get splayed
yeah,
like this in my, and it's like some pass the ear and some go right in. Don't get mad
that's
though.
but yeah, no, but that's what my family feels. So I can empathize with my family because they do that all the time.
I'm
They go,
sorry.
Mom, we just said that. And everybody rolls their eyes. And I feel like, oh,
Well, how did you miss it though? Were you not paying attention?
because they're
I'm
like,
paying
yeah.
attention.
Well, that's because of that. I get caught up on a one
Like a
thing that's
detail.
being said on a detail and
Mhm.
I go, "Oh,
Mhm.
that's really," and then I go down that rabbit hole and I kind of
Yeah.
in parallel of the discussion, I'm also figuring it out and they're
Yes,
telling me what it
exactly.
is. And so then I go, "Oh, look, it has clips." And they're like, "We've been talking about clips this whole time,
You
but
know
you
what?
were
That's
doing it
exactly what
on
it
your
is.
own."
You've sent me down a rabbit hole, and now I'm discovering it. Because you're right. It always happens when you're explaining tech to me. This is why. You're exactly right. It doesn't happen during any other kind of conversation, I don't think. But
Only
if I'm looking at
sometimes it
something
does.
else,
Sometimes it does.
if I'm
Sometimes it does.
looking at something else, I will often, yeah, I don't trail off, but like, yeah, my brain does start to multitask against my
Yeah.
will.
But also,
I
Jess,
have no control over it.
it's not so here's the thing, it's not against the subject matter. So whenever I do things like that, at least at home, it's in
Mhm.
parallel to or in addition to what we're talking about. So if we're talking
Yeah.
about getting the Thanksgiving recipes or dinner together or shopping, I'm multitasking everything that has to do with Thanksgiving execution.
Mhm.
Whereas what Randy and the family are talking about is what time we're leaving the house to go shopping to Thanksgiving, right?
Mhm.
And that's what they're talking about. That's what we're deciding. That's what's been shared with me. But I already have like, okay, I need to go to the supermarket and I have to buy these things that I have to do with Thanksgiving and I need to get there by 11 o'clock and I have to do this thing. And then I turn around and go like, so what time are we leaving for Thanksgiving? And they're like, uh, that is the past 20 minutes has been discussion and outline of when we're leaving.
Scott does this to me, but it's not rabbit hole. It's I'll talk to him, he'll acknowledge me, and then within 5 minutes, he'll ask me the same question as if it never happened. And I think, well, first I thought he was losing his mind, but now I think his brain is being lazy because I go, "Think, we just talked about this. What did I say?" And he'll go, "Oh, you said we were leaving at 6." And I was like, "Thank you."
Oh, well, see, I totally missed it because it's like I get it and
You missed
I
it
will go like
completely.
I missed
Yeah,
it completely. Like I will agree, but I'm already in a parallel discussion
universe.
about
Yeah.
about the thing though, right?
Right.
About the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not like doing something else.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Anywho, you guys, for those of you who are recording on Zoom, tell me what you think about those tools. I think
Yeah.
that those are amazing. And I love the fact that Zoom is taking such steps. Another platform that you might already be using that is now offering this type of functionality as well is Dropbox. Dropbox is also offering
Yes.
transcription on the side. It
All new
offers
things.
CC captions. What I haven't seen, I haven't really dove in there to see like what are some other things that it can do. But what they are really optimizing for is they've figured out that there's a lot of people who are collaborating on media, on production possibly, and are uploading their audio and video files to Dropbox in order to work on a project together. And they've started to really work on how to do that with each other and provide people tools to do that. So if you happen to have an editor that has been working with you either for video or audio, check it out and see if there's anything that can really streamline your workflow in being able to give feedback to somebody to cut the video at this time or whatever and make notes, because now you have that, which is bizarre that it's all in there.
Speaking of new things that are being offered, did you know that AI somewhere out there? Wait, let me tell you what it's called. AI, there's an AI jingle maker. You can just make jingles.
Mm,
It's AIjinglemaker.com. It sounds like a funny name like Dinglehopper.
it does.
You can just, 10 seconds to generate a jingle. And I'm not meaning to do a commercial for this, but I mean, what will they think of next? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they just
AI,
speaking of AI, because I think that this
they
actually
have all
leads
kinds of
into,
new, you can make your own customized GPT, they're calling
yeah,
them.
you can. I think that that's something that's pretty interesting. It's
It's really
sort of
interesting.
like you know how you use Searchy and you have all of the things in Searchy? Oh, what's happening? Oh, look.
Car
What are you
alarm.
doing?
It must have been my mother-in-law's.
Uh,
She's a mess.
I don't know what to say because like I'm like car alarms are like all over all the time.
Meep, meep, meep,
Oh,
meep. Yeah.
oh,
So I just wanted to be like, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my car because I'm not
okay.
nowhere near the keys. So
Okay.
you don't know. It could be a deer. I just, sorry. So
Yeah.
now it
No,
can browse the web, analyze data, generate images, and you can create one there's a new piece called Explore. It's amazing that it can do all these different things, and yet you can't put your chats in a file, in a folder. Do you know what
what do
I'm
you mean?
saying? Like, I have an endless supply of things I've asked it to do on the left side and no
Yeah.
way of organizing them to, like, from, like, I'd love to be able to organize, like, my own personal nonsense I've tried versus emails I asked it to write versus marketing campaigns versus web copy, just for starters. And I can't it's all, um, not rhetorical,
It's
chronological.
chronological. Yeah. I think that is why there are people who create ways in which you can have that API and or are using the guts of ChatGPT for you to be able to do that. So that I'm sure that exists, but it's
Mhm.
a third party tool. You don't go into OpenAI and do it that way, you know.
Right.
So in that respect, I get that. But I think, folks, this is something that I really, I think right after it was announced, I've kind of been sitting with this because I do feel it's going to be a game changer. And whoever takes steps as a creator and or marketer to learn this way to create your own personal GPTs is going to be a little bit ahead of the curve as we move into 2024, because the team over at OpenAI has actually made this incredibly easy and to be able to do this on your own. And so you don't have to
Mhm.
make these GPTs public. They can be a private thing that you do for yourself. Like you could do data points, you can add, reports of your web traffic, of your podcast
Mhm.
numbers, if there was a way to be able to do that. Because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, what if you could export your download numbers and just like the data, right? The analytics that you have, and shove them in there and ask your own personal GPT to give you a personalized, prognostication of possible growth of download numbers in the future, all of that stuff. And I think the other thing that's really good is that once you do upload this data to your personal things that you start, you can check there's a little check mark so that it keeps it away from the general information going out there.
Right.
So that is also a thing. And mark, I think every business, every business, every part of your job can have a GPT
Mhm.
to answer questions for you. I was just thinking about processes. Can you imagine if you have like
Yeah.
operations and you can upload all of the operations, and then if you have a new person that comes into work for you, you could go like, here's my operational GPT, ask it questions and it'll spit out, I don't know how to publish the episode. And it'll go
Right.
step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the things you need to do.
Yeah. Also, I just found one just separately that I didn't see before. If you're in ChatGPT and you go under the second notch down, Explore, it gives you a list of the ones that they've created just as an example of what you can create. And I just happened to see Sous Chef. I'll give you recipes based on the foods you love and ingredients you have. And then, as an example, here's a picture of my fridge. What should I make? What?
That's
What?
amazing.
It's
I would love that.
amazing.
I would love that so much.
I mean, especially if it knows what I have in the fridge, like it's the dream.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to know is like someone just wrote, and I can't tell who you are because it says Facebook user. I'm sorry, but it says I'm excited about the larger information amount of information you can upload, and I am too. But I do want to know, like, okay, say you have an ebook, you haven't written an ebook, but you have an ebook about something, and can you upload that ebook? Can you upload those slides? Can you upload other people's information and then ask it questions about that information? Because that just opens up a whole new
Yes.
level of education
Yes, you
that
can.
I mean, just talk about skipping. Oh, hi, Cheryl. Talk
It's
about
Cheryl.
skipping to the end, though. Like
Well,
you don't have to read a book. Just be like, tell me what I need. What do I need to know? How do I? You know what I mean?
yeah, it's I think that it does, obviously with great power comes great
Res-
responsibility. Um
Wait, you are highly depending on the honor system with human beings. That is a big mistake.
Oh
We
my
will get
God. Well,
away with
see, you
whatever we
can
can get away
always
with.
see the nefarious reasons and ways that people are going to be using this information. I mean, and
Yeah,
how
and I'm not
you can
talking about
have,
cheating.
well, also, what do you call,
I don't think it's right to cheat on a test, but I do think it's cool if someone, if you have a PDF of an audio book that you don't feel like reading the whole thing of, to
mhm.
just like upload it and be like, okay, you know what I mean?
It's already
Because I mean,
happening for a lot of education. I mean, I'm not, think about it
I know.
from that, because my people are going to figure out how to do all of the work without having to do the work. So
Yeah.
there has to be another way to be able to discern and get that information and disseminate that information out. Also, you really do have to get to the source of the deep learning, right? Because I would say, please don't hate me, educational people.
Here we go. Patrick is a
Six,
teacher.
I know.
Just
Well,
like,
he was a teacher.
okay.
So I would say 60 to 70% of the things that are being taught are busy work that just
No
teach the
shit.
kids
I could have told you
how
that.
to, well, yeah, to do like, teach them how to fill out homework, do tasks, and do papers and things. But in all honesty, how many of those people actually retain the information that they were meant to retain to move forward? Because I don't know.
I have a comment. I have a comment on
Okay.
this. If you want to know how much information you've retained, here's what you do. Download the New York Times crossword puzzle app and attempt to do it. And I'm not saying you will fail. You will not fail. This is how I know I've retained information, because sometimes it asks me a question and I have no clue the answer, but for whatever reason, I know it starts with an E. So I'll put E and it's right. And I'll go, ooh, and then it, it kind of gives me a clue. And somewhere in my brain is this information, but it's like, like it's questions like osmosis, like where you're like this, the process of something becoming something else. And you're like, wait. Based on how many letters. I mean, I'm just saying you do retain more than you think, but because I'm often impressed by my breadth of knowledge that I know based on the New York Times crossword puzzle. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's random shit that I have no business knowing that I somehow remember because I learned it in class somewhere at some point. But
But I think my point of that is that
that's true.
knowing and doing what you're doing with the oh my God, I can't say the word. Crossword puzzle is more about, in the way that you would go work your body outside and stay strong. That's what that does. It makes your brain malleable and do the stuff. Now, let's get back to the reason that I'm saying what I'm saying. What isn't being taught, and it's something we all need to be able to do, is the things that, like with my kid right now, I need to get May to be able to make her food. I need to be able to have them organize and be able to know, oh, I'm going to have to really make sure that I have these to prepare. I have to do a rehearsal. I need to be able to memorize my play's lines because I have an output, right?
I thought you were
on
going
a
to say
team.
organize and memorize homework and stuff, because that's what I'm working on with Isaac. Is I need him to have the skill of knowing what he needs to do every day and having the materials.
Yeah, well, that's what. But that's what I'm. Yeah, that's like.
Yeah,
that skill.
No one
is
teaches
for,
you that.
Yeah, that skill is for making sure that you show, like you could translate that, showing up on time to your work, making sure that you're accountable to the people that you're working with. Like those are like life skills, right? Being able to know, oh my God, I have $40 in the bank. I need to be able to not buy that $50 whatever, right? For them to be able to figure that is life skills that they need to know. That Chat GPT can't really teach you. It can give you a checklist of how to work towards that, maybe, but it's not, you have to do that. You got to live it.
If I was 12 and I had Chat GPT, I'm pretty sure the most common thing I would ask it is, how do I get a boy to like me? Because that's the only fucking thing I cared about from like 11 to, I mean, what day is it? No, I'm just kidding. From 11 to let's say 14. I think I've probably figured it out by 14, 15. Or how to get a boy's attention, or how to get a friend to be nicer to you, or how to know if someone's a real friend. I'm just trying to think of the application. I would never do real life applicational stuff, but it's interesting that you say that, because these are the things that, like, you can teach them, but sometimes they don't learn. They don't want to learn. They don't care about learning it. Like Nate can cook. Emily could not cook ever. Never, ever. Isaac refuses to learn how to tie his shoes, but he can make a beautiful plate of scrambled eggs.
Right.
So what are you going to do? Like, like we've tried. Go ahead. But I'm just saying, like, it's great to have that. So you're saying use it for How are you going to use it to teach Hunter about what she needs for her productions and lines and plays and stuff?
There's no reason at this point for that to happen. They don't have it in front of them. But what I do feel that for the ADHD brain,
Mhm.
it is really great because
Mhm. It is.
we often have a vision. Like, at least for me, I have a vision as to an execution of a project. The ideas and the creativity come really quick. I see connections. I see what needs to happen. Like, it's like a
Mm.
big old download, but I
Mhm.
cannot take that first step.
Hmm.
Like, taking that first step is like the most overwhelming thing ever, because then I get caught up with the little things, like the way that you're doing right now with your chairs. You're literally
Yes!
not ordering the chair because you have all of this minutia that you're focusing in on. The time, like, wait, do I want it to turn? Do I
Color,
want it to, like, what color? I don't know. And so it
metal,
becomes
yeah.
overwhelming when you
It
really
is.
just need to order it. Like, you need to get the chair, right?
I mean,
And so
10 or
that's what
20 years
happens.
ago, I would have just gone to Staples, pointed at a chair, and brought it home. But now that I have Amazon, Overstock, Target, I mean, Amazon really is the worst because it will offer you the chair that you want in 1,000 colors. It is. It's like free, what's it called? Buyer's. It's not buyer's remorse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I like that.
I'm
I
stuck.
understand what you're
I
saying.
get stuck easily
But
because it's
to
too much.
me, I get stuck on that too. And sometimes I just need a kick in the pants to be able to have it set up so that I can just get in there.
Yeah.
And Chat GPT at times will do that, because what tends to happen is I'm in the middle of, sometimes I'm writing something like, you know this. I told you that I'd replaced you. I'm in the
Yes.
middle of writing something, and then I'm like, wait, there's a word. What's the word? Oh my God. And then I sit there and I usually I used to text you about an idea
I
that I
kind of
had
miss
and I didn't
that.
know what
Don't
word it
fire
was.
me.
But
Mhm.
now I will write exactly what's in my head. How do you say if you really want to reach something, but then you really don't want to reach it? And it's not this, it's that. And then I'll just type my thought and it'll go, oh, the word that you're looking for is blah. And I'm like, yes, that's it. And
I mean,
so,
it certainly does work faster than my brain for sure because I'll
well,
be like, I'll have
so
to guess
fast.
4 before I'm like, "Oh, you mean this."
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
it's really, so in that respect, it's
More
very,
efficient.
very helpful to be able to do things like that.
Yeah.
And so I do appreciate that. Also, I was helping, I'm still in the process of doing that, and it's very challenging. I have to create a resume for my mentee, and she's been sending me all of the high level things that she's done at a job. And
Mhm.
I just listened to a podcast episode where they walk through how to create a really great resume using Chat GPT, because I would have to sit there and go, how do I make this into an actionable bullet point?
Yeah, yeah.
I can just say, like, these are the skills, make it into an actionable bullet point, boom, spits it out, and then I can
Yeah.
streamline the output, right? I'm not going to just get the copy paste. So, and also the other thing that ChatGPT just did for me that I would have been unable to do in the time limit that I had is that I was asked
Mhm.
to present very time focused presentations in Spain, in
Mhm.
Spanish. And I
Oh, yeah.
really
Totally can.
quickly created my presentations in English.
Mhm.
Like, I just wrote them down in a doc. And I
Right.
would just really quickly translate them, copy paste it, clean up the Spanish, make it mine. Boom, done. Like, I didn't have to, like, it obviously it still took time for me to do that because I had to create the slides and all that stuff. But it was so, like, I would have never been able to do that, not because I don't speak Spanish, but because the amount of Spanish words that I would have had to
Mhm.
look up that
I
didn't
know.
exist when I grew up. Like, I don't know how to say things like hard drive or attribution or dynamic
Right.
ads or, progressive downloads. Like, what the
Right,
fuck?
because how would you right.
That's
Nobody right. No one's talking about that to an 8-year-old in El Salvador. So right,
no,
why would you
and nor
why
did
would
it
you know how to
exist.
say that? Right, right,
It
right,
didn't
right,
exist, right? So it's
right.
just like, how do you even say that? So in that respect, and of course, I would have to double check, right? So I would have the whole thing, and I would still check my work, and I would still reach out, and I would make sure that that's the appropriate word. But it really helped me to be able to really get my ideas down on paper in a completely different language and help me sound like I knew what I was talking about from a technical perspective. And so it was really good. So
That's awesome. Do you remember the first time I needed to express something to my new cleaning crew? And I don't use ChatGPT, but I don't think it was years ago, and I don't think ChatGPT was like it definitely wasn't a thing. But I had to call Elsie and ask her to tell them
yeah,
because I
you did. I
couldn't
remember that. I
express.
was like, what is happening? Because I remember you
I
were
was
like,
like,
here,
Elsie, I
and you
have
put me
well,
on.
she just but also she was El Salvadorian, I think. So that helped because I was just like, because I didn't even know if it was, I
Yeah.
mean, Spanish is Spanish, but I mean, I'm sure there's nuances. So, yeah, I was like, I need to tell her to take the stuff, and if they want anything, it was just way beyond my ability to speak Spanish. And now I just type it into my phone and then show her the Spanish version. And she's like, oh, okay. You know, I would really
You,
just like to learn Spanish, but I don't, it's not in my routine. Like I'm sure there's Duolingo and there's apps for it, but like I don't know when I would do it piece by piece, but I would love to learn Spanish and be fluent in it, but I'm barely fluent in my own language. I'm just kidding.
nope.
Um,
I mean, in terms of that thing, it's like it's very helpful. And like I mean,
yeah.
even for things like with my kids right now, something that I has been really helpful too is that if I'm helping them do homework of something that they're doing, and especially as it like if it has to do with like history, this has happened with May. She's doing
Mhm.
history and she's doing like, I don't know, like, I mean, there's a lot of history I cannot remember, like a very specific, how specific history was or
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
And so they were doing American history. And so if there's a question I don't know the answer to, and she has to watch a video to do it, and we're both working towards, I'm not going to sit there and watch the video. So then, like, I will go into ChatGPT and I will ask the
You're
question. I'm like,
rotten.
so that
That's
way,
rotten.
when I go watching with her, I can guide her to find the answer on her own versus just,
Mhm.
and that way I can go like, oh, listen, they're talking about the captain of the boat. What's the guy's name? You know what I mean?
That's kind of rotten. But I mean,
Why is it rotten?
a good shortcut, because
Oh,
you
why is
aren't,
it rotten? Why
because
would
they
I
have to
have to
learn the long
relearn?
way. Well, obviously, it's not relearning if you don't know it in the first
Well, that's
place.
what I'm
Are you
saying. Like,
relearning?
there's a lot of stuff that I forgot. There's no way I can remember some of this stuff. There's no way.
You'd be surprised. But I hear what you're saying. Just
Yeah.
try the crossword.
Oh, there is no, like, the crossword puzzle would be like me trying to play Pictionary. Is that what that is? Where somebody's like, when you have to act it out, like the
That's
thing.
charades. Pictionary is when you
Charades.
have to draw the thing, which is
Okay.
even
So
worse than charades. You should
I
probably
could
be
do,
good at charades.
I would do charades really well. I would be the person. Like, I could be the person who
Yes.
does the charades. I
Acting.
would
Right.
not be the good person to answer because the
You know
word
who would be a good
would
teammate for
never.
you during charades? Me. Because I know how
Yes.
you think.
And you would see me, yeah, but I would never. I could not be the other way. Like, I would always have to be acting it out. I wouldn't be able to guess
You don't think?
the answer. No, because just the time pressure would render me like deer in headlights. Like,
I think we should test it. Where's a charade
no. We're
option?
not gonna do. We're not gonna do it right now.
I'm gonna act something out,
No,
and you have to guess what it is.
no.
This is like her worst nightmare.
It is my worst nightmare, other than improv.
Mm.
Oh my
See,
God,
Keller
Patrick,
wants
we
us to
could
do
do
it.
it. We should totally do a round of charades
Mhm.
live. I think it would be fun.
I agree.
But we do
Let's
need, I
start
think, a
now.
third. No. I think we need a third person of some kind that needs to keep the score
Yeah,
because
they
we
keep
can't
time and score.
and score. Yeah, because we can't do
Mhm.
all the things. But
Mhm.
we definitely have to do that. Yeah.
We could
Anyway,
do Zoom charades. That seems like it would be easy.
Zoom charades.
Yeah, like because you have teams, same as you do usually when you're playing charades, you have teams. You and I would be on a team, whether you're acting it out or if I'm acting it out, and then you have to go against another team who does the same thing, and whoever guesses the most wins.
Oh, but then how would we? I guess we would both have to go at the same time. That would be really interesting. I think it would be fun. We should
Yeah.
definitely check out to see how to do Zoom charades.
Charades, I can do Pictionary. I am the worst hand artist I know. I can't draw a fucking thing that anybody would ever guess. Maybe a horse because they got the
A
long nose, but that's
horse.
about it. Well, because they have a long nose and 4 feet, and that's not that hard, but everything else is difficult.
Yeah, you would need to
Yes,
be able to
you need to
private
private
message the
message
word.
the
That's
words.
right.
That's true.
So I think that would be because somebody has to be the moderator and they would private
Mhm.
message it to the people and go.
I
And
hear
so
a retired teacher volunteering to do that. Who could that be, Patrick? Um,
that would
oh
be
my
so
god,
fun.
it would be.
But I'm not sure if it would be so fun for people listening to a podcast episode of charades.
Hmm.
I don't
I
think that
mean,
would
I
be
don't
an
know.
experience.
I mean, it would be on video, so
That's what I'm
they could
saying.
just watch the
Well,
video.
right. But this is being repurposed for audio. So
True, but now in Spotify, you can all upload both and have both as part of your podcast.
if you are on on Spotify for
Megaphone.
podcasters,
That's right. If you're on
yeah.
Megaphone, that's right.
But
Yep.
can you publish to the other platforms?
I don't know. Probably. If you have
I
the
don't think you
RSS
can.
feed,
I don't think you have. I don't think you can.
I think you can.
I
A very
might
special episode. That's funny.
a very special episodes of charades. I think that
We
would be hilarious.
A
I would be
very
up for it, and
special
it would be
episode.
really. But who else? Who would we be? Who would we be going up against?
I mean, that doesn't matter. It could be anybody.
What
I
do you
did
mean?
hear your 80s
It should.
voice
It
over
has to be interesting and fun.
Mm.
Like it has to be somebody who's exciting.
Yeah,
and
audio
fun
would
to
just be
see.
us cracking up and trying to explain what the hell we're doing. You know what
Yeah.
would be funny is if we did charades and you started acting and then I give a play-by-play like a sports caster and I'm just like, she's doing this thing with her arms. I don't know what it is. People, I don't know. It's rolling. She's rolling them. Help me. Help me. What could this be? That would be really funny. We should start doing that.
Oh
Just
my
for
God.
fun. I think we could do that just for
I think
fun.
we
All
could
right,
do that
anyway.
for fun. Yes. We should.
I can't believe it's been 57 minutes. We did not talk about podcast marketing. Those of you who are listening for that, I apologize. We will talk about that next time.
We
'cause
can
it's
do it.
not
We
like
can
it's
do it next
expiring.
episode because it's going to be good. And regardless,
Yeah.
I want you guys to. We're going to drop it in the link in the show notes so that you guys can read all about it now, and then we can dive deep as we come back. But Jeremy Enns is the mastermind around marketing trends for a
Mhm.
survey. And we participated in getting as many people as we could to sign up for the survey. And he coalesced so much information in here. He had 521 respondents, 30 million plus cumulative downloads, 31K cumulative episodes. So that's the data that was that he was able to move from. And he talks through so much incredible information in this. It is going to blow your mind. By the way, the team over at Podcast Marketing Academy did a phenomenal job at putting all the
They
stuff
did.
up on the website because the graphics, the way that they laid out the data, like all of this stuff is amazing. We are going to come back to it because it does merit a full episode of this that we can definitely chat about. But here's a caveat for both all of you who are going to possibly read about it and or look at it and all of this stuff. It is both eye-opening and it's going to help you know, oh my gosh, I was right. At least for me, as a podcasting coach, consultant, mentor, the things that I've told all of the people that I've worked with, I feel 100% validated in my advice.
Good.
But it is also equally depressing. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. Because it is very depressing. It's very depressing. Because you're going to see that basically marketing a podcast is exceedingly hard and there is no one solution. And the only way for you to actually make a dent in growing your podcast downloads is to invest in marketing. Like buy ads.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's sad, but it's true. I think you're right.
And it doesn't look like any practices here, meaning like there is not one thing that you're going to like, oh my God, I'm now going to do an email newsletter. I'm now going to do more audiograms. I'm going to be on social. There is not one thing that is like, I've been missing out. I've been missing out not putting that stuff there. So yeah. And what I really love about it is that it really, he broke it down into big shows, shows that have 6 figures a month, all the way down to the most of us. And he also broke down high growth trends, mid growth trends, low growth trends, and negative growth trends, because he called it out that there's a lot of podcasts that are getting smaller.
Ooh, hey, tell me, just so that I know, give me a little preview. Where do audiograms fall in those categories? Is it the help you grow or don't help you grow category? I mean, it probably doesn't say, I guess.
It doesn't give it specifics. It doesn't have specifics there. It has, what's interesting there is that they do have it, like it says, there's a section at the bottom that says what works and what doesn't for podcast growth. And it would drop on social media, right? So social media, it says there, based on 463 answers, 54% said social media is most effective. But also at the same time, 18% said it was least effective.
I can't wait to hear the rest of this.
Yeah. So then, I mean, you got to look at all this stuff. Podcast guesting had the next highest, which was at 23%, but it also had the least effective, which was at 6%.
So it's just personal is what we're learning. It's just different for different people then, if that's true, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm just gonna just read you the last part before we really break it down in the next episode, if we can do it. You guys keep us accountable, because Jess and I's brain is not really into it. Sometimes we can't anchor, but this is the way that this is an overall, the last thing that he wrote on this report, which is, again, really dense. This is directly from there. Quote, "One last thing before we close this thing out. There will always be trends and commonalities that seem to define the biggest and highest growth shows. But there will always also be outliers. There's no one way to grow a show. No one format, topic, or strategy. So don't be afraid to buck the trend and experiment with wacky, scrappy, and unorthodox marketing strategies that no one else is doing. They won't always work, but every now and then they win big. As with all marketing, the only way to find out is to test it. So keep testing and share with us what you've learned for the next year's report. We'll do the same. Deal? So part of it, folks, it's obviously it's what we teach most of the time. There's no one way, exactly what you were just mentioned, Jessica. But the
Mhm.
other aspect of it is that one thing that every single person who is listening to this episode right now needs to understand and do, in fact, for their marketing for next year is find a way to quantify what your actions are actually delivering to you about podcast growth. You cannot just like go like, I just put it on social. I just throw it out. I just do. How do you know where people are coming from?
Mhm.
How do you know if people are taking action? How do you know you have new lists? Where did they come from? How did it grow?
Right.
What happened? Because if you
I
can't
mean,
tell where they're going, how are you even going to, how are you going to do it again?
mm,
Like you can't.
yeah.
Ooh.
Patrick says, "Don't go on a months-long hiatus. I lost half my audience." Ooh,
Oh,
that's not good.
did you now though,
Half
Patrick?
your audience. It's because podcasters are almost fully dependent on the sequential, on the episodic nature of the shows. I mean, I've known that for a long time, right? That they listen because it's weekly or daily or monthly or whatever. Like
I don't.
going on a long
I
hiatus.
kind of don't. I kind of don't think that. I think that there's also a difference as it pertains to technical stuff. Meaning,
Mhm.
there you the. I'm sorry, Patrick. I don't want to like burst a bubble here, but there's a possibility that audience wasn't really your audience.
Well, also
You know,
next
and
time just do reruns. You
But
know what I'm
but you
saying?
know what it is though, because he talked about it in the podcast marketing thing. He was talking about people who are doing programmatic and people who are doing
Mhm.
dynamic ad insertion and making their
Mhm.
money based like about that stuff, especially with
Yeah.
the larger podcasts because that's how they're making the
Yeah.
money. And do
Yeah.
you remember what the fancy JLD told you to do
Yes,
to
he
grow
told
your
me to in order to double my downloads, I should take my hour-long show and make it 2 half-hour-long shows that week.
exactly. And
And
that's
and
the
I mean, that's math-wise, he's not wrong,
exactly. And so let me call this out. That's
but it is
exactly what
bullshit.
no, that's exactly what the big guys are doing. So they are
What?
splitting it out to get more downloads because they need more stuff out there. So that's what they're doing. That's why they're publishing more. They're publishing more episodes so that they can get more ad slots, but their audience is not growing.
No, of course not.
So they're
And
but the
yet here
ad
they are saying they
inventory
get
is
2,000 a week instead of 1,000 a week, and it's
right.
not 2,000 a week. It's the same 1,000 people listening
Right.
twice.
But the ad inventory is paying for that.
I know.
Okay.
That
So
is
that's what I'm saying.
dumb, but
No, it's
smart, but
well,
dumb.
well, it's not dumb. It's because it's actually getting them paid. But the
I know.
key problem was not solved, which
Right.
is their audience isn't growing.
That's
Even
right.
if you're like a 3,000 downloads per episode, 30,000 downloads per episode per month, whatever, the
Mhm.
audience is not growing. In fact, it's shrinking. So they have to do that so they can fill the inventory and be able to provide advertisers with more inventory, but the
Right.
audience is still the same. So even
Right.
with us, it doesn't matter. So that's what I'm saying. So the other thing is, Patrick, the possibility, it's not inflation, Patrick. I think there was a change also in the way that Apple Podcast downloads episodes, and it was automatically downloading things to people's devices. So it might cause a diminishing of some episodes not being automatically downloaded for people who haven't listened yet. So, meaning it'll show up on their feed, but because you've been gone for so long, it turned off that automatic download feature within iOS 17, and it's not forced downloading. So like people are still like they would have to download your show so that or listen, right? So that would show up versus before when you were doing it like weekly, it was automatically downloading it to their device.
Mhm.
and you didn't, and they may or may not listen to the show, but it was on their device. So that might have happened. I don't know. Might have happened, but that is
Yeah.
and that's what happens sometimes with that, which means that it's the same people are getting your stuff. They're just not actively pushing the play
Right.
in the thing. So,
Right.
anywho,
Weird stuff. But we will talk about more next week. For now, we've talked to you for over an hour, and that's when
yes,
Elsie starts to twitch. So
I am
let's go
twitching.
ahead and
Oh.
wait. She faded to black. There was nothing we could do. Just nothing we could do.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let us know what you think about the podcast marketing we talked about already. Feedback at shepodcast.com, and also what you've used ChatGPT for so far. I'd love to know. Send
Mhm.
that to feedback at shepod. I hope that email address is working. I've not seen any emails from feedback at shepodcast.com.
Have you
Somebody
checked?
send us a test email and just see if it's even working, because I thought it was, but now I don't know.
Have you checked though? Like, when's the last time you actually checked from the subject matter, from the
They
subject?
forward to me, so I usually can see who it's. Yeah, I can usually see who it's from and who it's to. I don't know that I've noticed any feedback lately. Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. Email us. Um, yeah, so let us know what you're using ChatGPT for so far. Let us know if you're coming to our event, our live event, our last live event, which is going to be Orlando, January 24th and 25th, right before PodFest. Go to shepodcast.com/SPL. It is one room, all interactive workshops. It's going to be amazing. We also have a welcome party for networking, and we're also doing the Sonic Bloom Awards. So, buying a ticket to that event will give you a ticket to that event. Anyway, yay, Cheryl will be there. That's one reason to come right there. Just come just for that reason. Cheryl,
Just
promise you, will be there. Yay.
Cheryl.
And also
So
Elsie.
excited. And
She'll be
yes,
there.
I'm excited about doing some of my hands-on workshops in there. So I have some
Mhm.
exciting things that I'll be doing there that are
Yep.
very Elsie. They are very Elsie. And I promise you will get so much out of the stuff that I'm doing for
Yeah.
y'all.
Yep.
So
Anyway, all right. Thank you guys so much. Find us on all the socials at She Podcast. Obviously, our website is shepodcast.com. And we are so delighted that you joined us today, both on video and in audio. Thank you so much. We love you.
mean it.
Bye. That was a very long, drawn out meaning. Oh, that was amazing. Can you believe
Oh
we've
my
done that 400 times? 410
No, we didn't.
times?
We haven't done it 400 whatevers because I don't think we did
No,
it at first.
we didn't do it at
We
first. We
started to
didn't
do
love you
it
mean it.
somewhere
It
in
was
there.
not short
Um,
after, though.
no. Thank
All right,
you,
everyone, have a great
everybody.
week. Thank you so much. Take care. Mwah.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.